So I know a lot of you want to start your own company and have a dream of starting your own company, but this is my honest review of owning my company for 5 years, and I have all the data. And I know a lot of people. You're like, oh, I want to start my own plumbing company or whatever type of company you want to start, but people forget that this is a ranked game. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played a video game. Like back in the day when I was in middle school, I love Halo Reach. I was like, I got to a super high rank, and that doesn't change in the real world. It's still a fucking ranked game, and you got to know what the ranking is, what the numbers in competition is. It's like getting your license is the easy part. It's just like me signing up to fucking do a marathon. You think my fat ass is gonna run a fucking win the marathon? Like, yeah, to join the marathon is it's just takes money, and just like getting your license, everyone goes and tells you, yeah, get your license. And I laugh at those people because they're just trying to get money, and they're just trying to convince you to give them more money, because it's easier for me to go and out here and be like, hit me up, DM me right now and give me $500 and I could get you your license, which I could honestly, but that's not the point. Because let's run the real fucking numbers. And this is my honest review of owning my own company. And this is what most people are not doing, because they're not running AI. They don't understand how it works. So with AI, I could punch in data and it gives me fucking results. So here's the results. So according to AI right now, why is my fucking flash on? There we go. There's 1,622 plumbers in San Diego. 300 of those out of those plumbers also had the same, also two classification, which is me. So in reality, there's only 300 people that are like me with the same classification. But let's just stick to the plumbers, let's not even think about the general building license part of this. There's around 10 companies out there that are actually doing GC with a license and are doing $2 million in revenue. 1.2, there's about 40 that is doing 1 million to 2 million, which is pretty closer. And there's around 80 in the county that are doing 700 to 50 to 100 $1 million. And I barely joined this rank, which is, the hustler, where I'm doing above 500k in revenue, blah 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 blah. I'm getting close to a million, but not there yet. And the rest of everyone, the fuck else, is 1,300 is in tier 5. Like, that's 80% of the fucking people that get a license are never gonna pass 300k in revenue. So this is everything. I ran the data. I'm still 1 or 2 years before I hit the next to this, like the top 10%. I'm 1 or 2 years out to hit or on the top. Okay, so look, and then we have another pyramid right here. Like I said, there's only 10 contractors doing 2 million plus a year, and 40 are stuck between 1 and 2 million, and 102 are stuck between 750 to 1 million. And I'm right here. Like I said, 80% of people are, most of you that get a license, you're gonna be stuck here. That's just the data. And you could get mad at me, like, and everyone wants to be like the rich plumber that gets a lot of money, but you're looking at the real data. Like, honestly, those contractors are like less than 3%. So you have a 3% chance to become like the plumbing company you guys desire, and it takes about 10 years to create. You got to keep in mind, I see this every day. Getting your contractor license is the easy part, and you get to a point where you can't compete anymore. Like year 1 and year 2, you're competing on price. You're like at the bottom and now you can't, because you're like, oh, I got a website, I got all this. You add cost to your business, so you can't even compete with the guys in the bottom right here. Because before, everyone's like, oh, post on Facebook, post on Instagram, post on Nextdoor. That right there, the bottom, is a race to the bottom. Everyone right there is gonna, yeah, you're gonna make good money as the field guy. You're gonna make, like I said, 300k, 100 to 300k as a solo operator is pretty good money. Not gonna lie, as a plumber, that's one reason most people are like bragging. They're like, hell yeah, I'm doing good. because they're making pretty good money, but they are the company, and if something ever happens to them, they lose the company. So don't get me wrong, 300K is still good money, but you're not really making a company. You're just a solo operator, and you're the one that runs around and does most of the plumbing. As you can see, I'm not the one doing the plumbing. I'm right now fucking making TikToks, making YouTube videos, making Instagram video, learning marketing, doing cold calls, which that's the next tier, which is like 10% of us, 10% of contractors up here, you know, that's where I am. So yeah, you can make good money. Don't get me wrong, it's better to stay in this tier. Like in this tier, you make fucking money, because I'm the one that's fucking plumbing. I'm the one doing the job. I'm working. So your profit margins are really high right here. But right here, that's where you gotta start like doing other stuff that has nothing to do with plumbing and all about business. These last tiers are where you learn about business, and you gotta learn how to operate, learning about having a Google review, LSA, SEO. There's a lot of bullshit that you need to understand to get up there, and this is just the data. So the reason I made this video is because I saw this fucking video yesterday on YouTube. I don't know, I was just folding my laundry, and then I got skipped to a Mount Everest video about this people climbing Mount Everest, and then how people get so delusional. There's this lady from Canada, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, and her training was just like walking around her park. She never put snow boots on, she never did this, and she thought she could climb Mount Everest, and she made it to the top, but she didn't make it to the bottom because her body just gave up on her and she died. This is most of you. Like, all of you think you could climb Mount. You see, this is like a mountain. Like, all of you are delusional and think you could climb Mount Everest, but you got to keep in mind it takes years. And the problem is, and that the story, more of the story is that lady should have turned around, and she didn't. And that's the only thing I feel. That's where I was like, am I insane? Because at some point you've got to be like, most people think it's like Wolf of Wall Street, being an entrepreneur, like cocaine, strippers everywhere, midgets flying, it's gonna be cool. It's not. It's most entrepreneurship is like fucking Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, when that motherfucker is like with his son, and they're in the train and they're crying and they're broke, and people are like, where's my money? That's true entrepreneurship. That's the actual entrepreneur. So I saw that video of her climbing Mount Everest, and I was just like, dude, how many people really think they could climb Mount Everest? And it's almost like me. Like, I thought I could climb Mount Everest, and this is Mount Everest. Like, if you look at the fucking data, less than 1% to be the top. You're like 1% doing $2 million plus a year in revenue. That's less than 1%. Like, I have to be delusional as fuck to believe that I'm better than 1,600 and like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that I like for me to think that I'm better than 1,622 people in my county. You gotta be delusional and crazy. Like, that's just the fucking data. This is not me saying this. This is just Claude running his fucking data and running everything and doing the math, and it tells you like exactly how long it's gonna take and what the data is telling you. This is not my fucking opinion. This is just the data. To me, for me to think that I'm better than 1,621 other plumbers, that's just delusion or insanity. And that's where I was like, am I like this lady that I think I'm either delusional? Because they show other people that died on Mount Everest, and then there's another lady where they're like, hey, you need to turn around, this is not working out. She didn't listen, and she also died. And I'm at the point where, like, am I delusional? Am I gonna die on this mountain trying to be like the top 1% of the companies in my area? That's straight up delusion, right? But this is the fucking advantage that no one's telling you. And this is why I have a crazy advantage. And I ran the data. A lot of people always ask me, like, why'd you become a fucking plumber? Oh, do you think I love plumbing? Like, it was never about loving plumbing. It was running the data. If you guys don't understand, like, how crazy my brain works, like, with numbers, I have always been good with numbers and data. So this is like, don't give me a fucking spelling bee. I can't fucking spell Wednesday if my life depended on me, on it. Like I swear I could not spell Wednesday. My brain doesn't work like that. But when you give me numbers and you give me data, and then I run data like a motherfucking computer, I know like it's delusion, but it's not, because we're gonna hit our third one, and this is where Cloud runs this data. The construction industry old. National media age is 42. San Diego plumber running older. You're 29. While they're aging out, you're aging in. This is your unfair advantage. This is an unfair advantage. You got to keep in mind, I've been doing this since fucking 18 years old. I've been plumbing. All the mistakes I do, I learn. I'm still fucking in my 20s. This is the last year of my 20s, obviously. But I have a fucking unfair advantage. While all my friends were, well, mostly all my friends are also plumbers, but were other people from high school that I talked to, they're barely, they if they join the trade, they're barely a first year, second year apprentice. Dude, I've been doing this for 10 years plus. This is the advantage I have. And if you look at all the data, you read it on the bottom, private equity, like private equity is buying out every boomer. And I seen it happen in my area. Everyone, so it really isn't there. When you really think about it, there really isn't any fucking competition out there. Because what happens is the boomers created an industry for their children, their fathers and their daughters and sons, but they don't even want to take care of this industry. They're just like, my son doesn't know how to operate a plumbing company, my daughter doesn't know how to operate a plumbing company. They give it to them, they try it out, they start losing money, so they're just like, I don't give a fuck, here you go. They just sell to private equity. So in reality is, if you go back to this chart, and this is just me doing random numbers, it's really like 10 versus 1. It's not 1,300 versus, 1,600 versus 1. It's really like 9 people that are on the same team versus me. And there is really no competition. And this is why I did this. And this is my prediction of like, these motherfuckers they're spending a lot of money on marketing, but not on operations. And this is me going into marketing, and because I have the operation down, I'm doubling down on marketing. I've been able to grow my Instagram following like almost 400% in the last year. You know how crazy that is? This is an unfair advantage where I think this is where I know delusion doesn't mean insanity. It means it's called logic now. I just gotta wait it out 1 to 5 years, and then I have an unfair advantage, and I could dominate this industry. And that's just me reading the data, and that's why I became a plumber. If you really go out there and look at the fucking data, there's no reason for me to become a software engineer. It's just at some point in time, and it's just like Alex Hormozy always goes back to Mr. Panda. Mr. Panda he said he made a little compound chicken at 30% profit, and that now fucking Panda Express makes billions of dollars. This is where I am at, where I used to be like, oh, I think I could be a millionaire, and I'm like, dude, I've been in this industry so long that I feel like $1 billion is an option. And like I said, it could be delusion, but I don't think so. This is just data. Most of you guys don't understand or don't care. And you just look at it and you're like, I could do this, and then you don't realize this is a Mount Everest. To get to the top 1%, it's not easy. It's really a fucking huge mountain to climb, and I don't think most of you are prepared, or you guys don't even care to learn about what you're getting yourself into. And most people just get stuck between the 0 to 300K. And don't get me wrong, you're still making fucking good money, but you're never gonna get past that. And if you do, it might take you 20 to 40 years. And that's where I see a lot of companies where they stuck long enough, and they're not good at any marketing. They're not good at SEO. They just been doing it for 20 to 40 years, and that's why they could have 4 to 5 trucks. And then if I don't do anything and just keep plumbing for 20 plus years, then I'll get there. But the way I'm looking at my data, running data, and like telling them, hey, what should I do? What's step 1, step 2? My projection is I'm cutting down that 80%. So in the next 1 to 2 years, that's what Claude is saying, I should be on the top 1%. Fucking crazy. But this is my opinion. Honestly, a review. So this is my final review of my entrepreneur journey. It's fucking sucks, but that's just short term. I'm pretty sure just like part of climbing Mount Everest, like watching people die, thinking you're gonna die on the journey, is actually finally doing it. And I think a lot of people, what sucks is like, even if I do make it to the top, then it's like, what now? I did it. And that's, I think, a lot of people, they're like, fuck. A lot of people wish they don't make it to the top. But let's keep going. I think it's a rank game. You know, if you never ever play something ranked, which is whether it's sports or fucking video games, you guys don't understand like what it is to be a ranked player. And like I said, I'm on the 10% per part of the ranking. I'm not even on the top fucking next 10%. But yeah, 80% of you guys will be stuck on this one, the field. That's my opinion.